Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Should we go to Paris? It feels like everyone's in Paris right now, and I recently picked up the new Plan de Paris collection from Christian Dior. I also have some of their new contour and highlight duos, their blush duos, so let's just do a pretty full face of Dior Paris beauty, and let's pretend we're in Paris at the moment, just like everyone else. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. All of the products and the brushes that I'm using today are listed in the description box down below. I hope you have your passport and some good walking shoes in for today. Let's go ahead and talk about these items here. So I, of course, went with L'Étoile, this beautiful blue palette here. Now, I am going to create a soft, chic, very French look with this palette here. And I know you may be thinking, how can you do that? Please give me some time. I will show you how to transform this into a very soft, elegant, and a very soft blue look. Just because there are 5 colors does not mean we have to use all 5, and there are ways, trust me. And I also picked up these 2 new duos, I guess we can call them, and one of them is a contour and highlight. This is the shade 100. I absolutely adore this one. Spoiler, j'adore. I adore this one. It's so pretty. I find that the contour color is very soft. It's sculpted in a very minimal, effortless way. And then I have this beautiful blush and highlighter one, number 257. It's pink, but just enough pink, not too much. So lovely. So those are all the products today, but let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start off with this Refer brush, the 14 Max, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this bronzer color here. And I will in fact use this on the eyes because it's very soft, and these products here, the new Dior, what is it, Forever, the collection basically is travel friendly. They have new foundation sticks, contour sticks, and then these palettes here, and they're all made to be travel friendly, which is perfect for our impromptu travel to Paris. I mean, it seems as though everyone is there right now enjoying the Olympics. How are you enjoying the Olympics this time around? I have to say I am much more excited this time than a few years ago during the lockdowns and everything. I really wasn't in the mood or spirit, but this time around, everything is so beautiful. Seeing Celine Dion perform at the opening ceremonies was just so, it was melancholic. It was beautiful, it was stunning, it was emotional, and melancholic as well, because we know she's had such tremendous health concerns for the past few years, and just seeing her and just, you know, being able to witness her gift and talent was just so, it was just so special. And just the opening ceremonies they're so extra and so overboard, and just seeing those beautiful landmarks, it's nice. It's a nice feeling. So you can see I've been applying this quite liberally all over the lid. There is a little bit of color, but not very much. And this side here is matte. All the duos, it doesn't matter which shades you get, the contour, the blush. The color side is matte, like a soft velvet, not dry. And then you get a highlighter. So it's a nice balance here. This in itself could be a look, but we're going to go a little bit extra. I will use the Dior Show eyeliner in Pearly Cobalt. It's a beautiful dark blue. So I will go ahead and put this in the top waterline. So what do you think, what is your top, like maybe top 5, top 3 things you want to do? We're going to land in Paris. We're going to pretend that we're not jet lagged. Of course, this is fantasy, so no one is jet lagged. We are ready to go. I hope you got some good walking shoes on your feet. We're getting all the steps in today. I hope you're used to transport, public transport. If not, I'll help you navigate. And I will also offer to translate for us. So we should not get too lost on top of Google Maps and me as a translator. We should be able to get around. Obviously, we want to go see the Eiffel Tower, but it appears as though they have some sort of fields set up there for a lot of the Olympics. I guess we will just have to go watch some matches and some rounds of athletes doing things that are almost freakish to see in person. It's really outstanding and remarkable what some people can do with their bodies. And some of us out here are just like doing what we can, doing our best. I'm taking a small pencil brush. This is the Refer 29. And I'm going to pick up the darkest shade here. This is almost a black. It's like a navy black. I'm going to pick this up and then I'm going to just crush a little bit on the back of my hand here. And then I will just trace this. Now, my preferred neighborhood to stay in Paris is Montmartre, which is on the North Shore. The thing is with Paris, it's massive, so it doesn't really matter where we're staying. We're going to have to do lots of transiting. But Montmartre is, well, first of all, it's close to the red light district. It's close to the Moulin Rouge, but it's not that bad. I mean, if you're looking for trouble, you can find it. But if you're just, walking around during the day, it's perfectly fine. I really like it because when you stay there, you really get a sense that you don't feel like a tourist. Everyone who lives there, you feel like they just live in Paris, which is a really nice feeling. So that's the neighborhood that I prefer to stay in every time I go. I've never lived in Paris, but I have visited several times. When I was younger, in my early 20s, I did live in Normandy, which is an hour by train from Paris. It's in the north, and it's a quick train ride away. So I did get to visit several times while I was living in Normandy, and I've also visited since then. I know everyone wants to visit Versailles, and it is worth visiting. It is, but Versailles is like an hour southwest. Like it isn't in Paris, of course not. It's like an hour and a half outside of Paris. It's definitely worth visiting, but it's kind of a day trip, so we just have to plan in advance. I'm just picking up the product and then just like smushing it in here. This is where the little pencil, not the pencil, but the sponge tip applicators come. I just sort of use it as a deposit for extra product. And then I'm just very carefully drawing a thin line here with this dark navy. And then I think I'll also mix this lighter one as well. Just picking up and just sort of crushing it inside here. There are, of course, a million museums to visit in Paris, and if we buy our tickets online, we can often skip a lot of the lines. So let me know which ones you want to go to and I'll just place the order and then we can skip a line. There will still be a line, but it won't be as bad. I also am a huge fan of walking tours. One thing about me, I love to go on walks, and if I'm visiting somewhere, I'm going on a walking tour. I'm going on as many walking tours as possible. I mean, one per day is like my ideal world because a walking tour is usually like 2 or 3 hours, and I find that a walking tour is a great way to just discover a new area of the city. I'm just going back in here and picking up more color. And it's also a great way to orientate yourself around a foreign city. And Paris has such beautiful architecture. Those beautiful Haussmann roofs are just so stunning. That's the Haussmann style. You see that everywhere. And then once you know what to look for, you can just keep your eyes open. I'm switching to a separate pencil brush. This is the BK Beauty 208, and I've sprayed it with a little bit of setting spray. I'm going to pick up this blue over here, and I'm going to do a little flick with this color. There is a bit of fallout with that lighter blue. I mean, it's a dark blue, but of the two that I used, it's a little bit lighter and there's a little bit of fallout. So I'm just taking some cream here, it's an eye cream on a Q-tip. I'm going to just clean up a little bit of mess. So the reason I always choose Montmartre is because if you like the Impressionists, which I do, this is an area that's going to make you feel like you're living in La Belle Époque, the Edwardian period. I think it's Edwardian, yes, the 1890s, 1880s, possibly 1870s. You feel like you are still in that time period a little bit. I mean, you have to use a little bit of imagination, but all of the Impressionists, not all, but a lot of them lived around there. They had their studios there. It's a beautiful period in my mind. It's one of my favorite art moments and literature, and it's great for me personally. So that's why I like to stay there. I find that it still has a little bit of that charm and magic from that time period. I just threw on some black mascara. You could use a dark navy, but going in with black just makes this look even more subtle. It's blue, but it's not that blue. Like I said, it's very, very subtle. I'm using the U Beauty Super Tinted Hydrator. I have the shade 4. I think I just sprayed my counter. It's fine. This is a tinted moisturizer. It went over here. Wonderful. It's a tinted moisturizer. It's very lightweight. It's your skin, but better. I'm blending this out with a round foundation brush from BK Beauty. Also in Paris, a fun thing to do is you can visit some very famous cemeteries. I know it sounds a bit spooky. We can go during the day. If you're very brave and spooky, we can go at night. I personally would like to go during the day. You can see some very famous people that are, buried there, and there's many different cemeteries. I think there are in fact walking tours of different ones if you're so inclined, but there are many of them, and a lot of them are on the North Shore, which is where we're staying. And a very important thing to note is that there are 2 shores in Paris, the North and the South. So it's good to have a rough idea of where you want to be, where you want to go, just for transit time, because we will be taking the metro while we're there. It's easier than driving, first of all. I'm not driving in Paris. I know how to drive. I drive very well, but I am not driving in Paris. So we're taking transit. There is Uber, but it's going to be very expensive and it's going to take a long time for no reason. So we're taking transit. I'm taking the Armani Luminous Silk. This is the concealer in the shade 5.5. I'm taking my Prada Beauty concealer brush, which is my favorite. I am a huge fan of Prada Beauty, especially their brushes. They're just really phenomenal. So I will take this with me on our trip to Paris. What kind of makeup will you be packing? I'm thinking something like this, where the eyes are very light, but there's a little makeup look, the mascara and that little flick of eyeliner, and it's navy, the navy with the red. It's very, very, very French, very chic. It's understated, but it looks put together. So something like this, or a very light eye, maybe no blue whatsoever, but then a bold red lip. That could also work. Ideas. So lucky for us, the Paris plan, the Plan de Paris, has names that are specific to Paris and to Christian Dior, but these are landmarks. So when I was asking you before where you want to go, you could literally just look at your makeup and that will give you a good itinerary. So we have Montaigne, we have L'Étoile, we have Saint-Honoré, we have Champs-Élysées. Great for shopping, great for just feeling yourself and your French vacation fantasy. So if you're unsure, if you're feeling overwhelmed with choices, I understand. If me asking where do you want to go is too much, defer to the Paris plan. And that will be our Paris plan, yes. Defer to this beautiful collection and it will be your guide as to where to visit. Using a Refer angled brush, number 4, I'm going to dig into this one. This bronzer, it's a contour more than a bronzer. It's very subtle, it's very buildable. I love it. At first, I wasn't certain because I bought it online and I was worried that I perhaps got a shade that's too light. I think it's actually perfect because it looks sculpted, but in such a natural and effortless way. It reminds me a lot of the Tom Ford Terra because this is a taupe. It's a neutral, cool leaning taupe, and you can see some sculpted effect here, but it's very subtle. And I like that I can dig in and add a lot because sometimes with a bronzer or a contour product, you really have to go in very lightly. And if you don't, it looks just way too much. Whereas this here, it just looks perfect. And I love that these are travel friendly. So you can do a full face with these products here. I did go in and do the eyes. I mean, I used this contour on the eyes, but you could use the blush as well on the eyes. You could really just do a full face with a few products. So thank you, for making travel-friendly products here, even if it is just for fantasy for today. Now going into my blush palette here. I love this pink. It's number 257. It's just the right level of pink. It's not too pink. It's just enough, and it's a soft velvet. I find that the color side of the duos tend to be softer, so they don't pick up quite as much, but just a little bit of building and then you get the color payoff, and these last all day as well. So that will be ideal for our very hot Parisian day. I hope you brought sun hats and sunscreen and some reusable water bottles, because it's going to be hot, and unfortunately a lot of Europe doesn't have air conditioning like we do here in North America. In Montreal, we are spoiled with air conditioning in a lot of places, but I think Paris might be a little bit sweaty. To be fair, it is summer, so I think everywhere is a little bit sweaty right now. So each of these duos has a highlighter, but I prefer the highlighter from the contour palette. So I'm just going to use a Rephr 05. Technically it's a blush brush, but you can use it for a blush or a highlighter. And the highlighter side picks up more, so I'm just whacking it around like this just to knock off a little bit. Oh, it's so pretty. It really melts into the skin and just sort of becomes one. And it's a powder, but it looks like it's melted, like some sort of cream. And then taking a pencil brush, this is the Rephr 03, I'm just going to pick up this color here, and I'm going to place it on the inner corner here. For the lips, I'm going into this lip liner here. This is the 172. It's a beautiful like rosewood shade. It's actually called rosewood. So I'm going to fill in my lips with this here. And then over top, I'm going into this beautiful velvet lipstick in the shade Mitza. It's number 625. It's pink, but not too pink, and I think it'll just wear really nicely with this entire look. Do you see what I mean? It's pink, but not too pink. It's subtle. It is one of those shades that's a little bit of a no-brainer, like when I want to wear something on my lips that's in the pink family, but I can't always be fussed to figure out anything too complicated. I often go into this 625 shade. I'm going to put on a setting spray. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip setting spray. It works really well. It's great for a hot day in Paris in the sun with all of our probably 20,000 step days. I recommend a good setting spray for this type of occasion. I also do want to add a little bit of lip oil. This is the shade 001 Pink. I like the look, but I want just a little bit of shine and hydration, so just a little bit here. And for the final touch, a fragrance, I have the beautiful Miss Dior Parfum. This is the newest version that came out this spring. I love this one. It smells so lovely. So that is it for today's video. That is my take on a very light blue makeup look. You can't even really tell that it's that blue. It's very subtle. If you don't have some of the like the duos, you could use one of these two colors here for the highlight inner corner. It can be very subtle, very soft. It doesn't have to be a dark smoky eye blue. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm wearing this beautiful red. It's OPI. It's Big Apple Red, something like that. But the other option is this blue here, the blue star from the Paris Plan collection. I was wearing that last week. Either one would work really nicely with this entire look. Anyway, if you are not subscribed to my channel, which I know many of you who watch me are not subscribed yet, I hope you take the time to do so. I do lots of reviews on new releases from French luxury brands, but I also am known for reusing new and old collections and helping you at home get inspired to use up what you have without necessarily having to buy everything new. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure your notification bell is set to on. That is all I have for today's video. So what type of emoji should we leave in the comments section for today's video? I think blue, a blue emoji, blue heart, the light blue or the dark blue. I don't think that there's an Eiffel Tower, so let's just go with blue emoji or a French flag. Let's leave a French flag in honor of the Paris plan. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.